Welcome to the ICF Tennessee podcast, where we create a space for coaches to reflect on their journey, share their stories, and contribute to the collective story of our coaching community. Today, I have Rebecca Dorsey with me, and we're so excited to just connect and get to know Rebecca and pass on her wisdom to the community. Thanks for being here, Rebecca.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to connect and share.
Wonderful. So, we'd love to get to know you. Tell us about your path into coaching and what shaped you the most.
My path to coaching, like all good career development, it was a complete accident. I got into coaching because I ended up taking a part-time job when I was in graduate school, working for a coach training company. And I have to be clear with you, I had no idea what coach training was or what coaching was, but it
Mm,
was a connection through a neighbor. I know someone that's hiring for a position. I know you're looking for work. Let me connect you. And the minute I learned what coaching was, it was
mm,
sort of the where has this been all my life? I didn't know this existed. This is me. This is how I'm wired. This is how I love being in the world. Uh, I don't know if your high school did silly things like this, but for our senior class, we had to vote on, best this or most likely to this. And I got the award for best listener. It's like what I'm going to hang my
mm.
hat on. And I just think, man, even as a high school student, I had the curiosity, I had the interest in helping others grow. I just didn't have a frame for it. And moving into adulthood and career, just finding the frame of coaching accidentally is how I got started.
I love those stories. I love those stories. It's funny. You got best listener. I got most enthusiastic.
See, it all works together.
Oh, wonderful. As you think about, you're an MCC, Master
Yes.
Certified Coach. So, what was the most formative on your journey towards MCC?
Yeah. You know, Coaching was a skill and a tool for me for a long time and not a title, which is kind of a
Mm,
phrase I'm borrowing from several of the coaching books I've read, that coaching is a tool, not a title. But
yeah.
I was working in a research center at a graduate school of psychology, and I was the behind the scenes, I was the managing director. So I was the person that was trying to figure out how do we make everything go. I was not, working in a coach title, coaching capacity. But what I learned really quickly was people who think for a living, they need coaching. You can't teach them, tell them, train them. You have to draw it out of them. And coaching was the tool that I was using. And I had been out of school for a long time and was looking for what's that next phase of development? How do I continue sharpening my skills? How do I grow? And I was looking at, all different sorts of formal schooling and different programs, and nothing really was making sense. And I just remember sitting in my office one day and going, why am I making this so hard? I love coaching. Why don't I pour into getting more of that next level coaching skill? This is the tool that I use every day in my job. And so just having that moment where coaching for me was always that it's so obvious, it's right in front of me, I'm missing it kind of a thing. And just stopping and going, this is the tool. This is how I want to help people. This is how I think I'm making a difference in the world. And I really want to pour in there. And just from the minute I made that decision, never looking back, everything about pouring into more coach development, pouring into others just made sense. Of course,
Mhm.
having to figure out along the way, how does that make business sense? And what's the way that I'm doing this as a career and a job and not just that skill and that tool? But that was kind of one big coaching moment for me.
Mm. Thank you for taking me in the office with you. I feel like I could see it there and feel it with you. Thank you. What has helped you to continue to love coaching even with challenges?
Yeah, it's the people. I absolutely love those seemingly really tiny moments that just deeply matter.
Mm,
Where what I find, and I don't know if you find this too, but it's the sessions where I often think, man, nothing really great came out of that, or nothing's going to come out of that. Maybe we didn't follow this exact clear conversational path, and I'm sitting there going, oh man, they're going to come take my coaching credential away from me. The coaching powers that be, they're just going to, someone's going to tell them that conversation, it didn't follow this beautiful arc. And then an hour later, a day later, a week later, that client emails or calls and says, thank you. That
mm,
conversation changed everything for me. And it is just that constant reminder that you never know what part of the conversation is going to be what lingers and what
yeah.
stays with somebody. And it's often the conversations where I think, I'm not sure that there was this massive light bulb moment, but we started something, and we started something in a way that it lingered and it stayed with them, and they wrestled with it, and they've come back and said, this has changed my life, and this has had a ripple effect into my family, my work. I think one of the most meaningful ones, I work with several executives, and as you know, for any of us, but especially for executives, taking time off is really difficult. Taking a
Yeah.
vacation is often nearly impossible to fully step out of the work. You're still going to get that phone call, you're still going to get pulled in on a message, something. And we had made a vacation plan. How are you going to stay present with your family so that the thing that matters the most to you can get the time, and so that you're rejuvenated and ready to go back to work and not dreading, I didn't do vacation well with my family and now I'm behind at work. And so we made a vacation plan, and we figured out what is that snapshot that you want to have, that micro memory you want to create
Mm,
with your daughter and with your family. And uh, getting the message from her a week later, thank you. We created that memory I wanted to create.
mm,
And, just being able to have those really sacred moments with people. The big work stuff, the innovation, the change, that all matters and that's fun. But it's when this actually mattered to your life and to the people that matter most to you. That's just really rewarding.
yeah. It's a gift to be a part of someone's whole development.
It is, and it all connects
Mm,
when we're sitting at work and we're feeling like we're failing our family or we're failing in our personal life. That takes a toll on the work. And when you're with your family and you're trying to be present with them and all the work projects are playing in your mind, it all impacts. And being able to give just little handholds to make it through in a more meaningful way, or a way that deeply matters to that person, uh, that's just so rewarding.
I also love that in your story that sometimes the things like I didn't do much. You likely did something profound. Like it's such a shift in coaching where like I'm not providing it, I'm unlocking it. And sometimes you don't see the impact of coaching until after because like the coaching continues as they yeah, like you said, you started something and then they
Yeah.
sit with it and they come back and they had the breakthrough. And I've told clients jokingly, like, don't have the breakthroughs without me. Like I want to see them too. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's our work as coaches, we start something and they continue the work even outside the session.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it when there's that perfect arc within the
Yeah.
time where we discover it, we have the insight, we apply it, we've got the plan, and it's just follows that
Mm,
beautiful kind of packaged arc. And then it's the times where we start it and it's a big, deep thing, but it doesn't get to close the loop in that conversation, but it lingers. And
yeah.
that's when I get off the call and I think, someone's going to take my credential. I didn't complete the full arc. We didn't have this sort of perfect movie script happen in this session. And those are always the ones that an hour later, a day later, a week later, I get the message of that changed me. It's
Wow.
just interesting how our own fears, insecurities, perceptions can really play into things that just it's not what's happening for the client.
And thank you for normalizing that even as MCCs, we still experience fears and insecurities. We're still human, and we can still experience that.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what I've learned over time is to trust the process and know that my feeling about how a session went is actually often wrong. And I'll play this back the other way too, in full transparency. The times where I'm sitting there and thinking, I am nailing this, right? Like the questions are coming and they're firing back these great answers. And I think, oh, I see a pattern here. Oh, I see a theme. I've got an insight. And, I ask, well, could I offer what's running through my mind? And they're like, yeah, no, that's not really it. But that does make me think it's this, and they kind of take it in another way. And I've learned when I think just kind of in that you hover above yourself in that sort of movie-esque kind of way where you've got the narrator's voice coming in, and I'm thinking, I'm doing great.
Mm.
When I take that and step into the conversation with not an arrogance, but I've got a nugget to share, more times than not, that's not the nugget they need. And
Yeah.
it's when I hold back and I sit a little longer with where their mind is going and let them make those connections. That's when I go, okay, I don't feel like I did as much, but that's when they have the bigger breakthroughs. And so I've learned over time, it's kind of like with driving. I'm not great with directions. I'll be transparent there too. It just kind of has become a family joke. If I think we should turn left, we need to turn right. And this is, of course,
Mm.
before the days of everyone having maps on their phone.
We had MapQuest.
Yeah, but sometimes just the way you feel about the session is not how it's actually playing out. And I've learned to trust the process and not how I'm feeling in that moment, whether I think I'm really crushing it or whether I think someone is going to come rip my credential away. I'm not performing at this master coach level. The way I feel about it is often wrong. And so I've just learned let the feeling come and go. It's probably not true. Uh, and stay in the moment and let the client really get to that insight that unlocks.
Yeah. Well, speaking of nuggets, you're giving so many to not just the ICF Tennessee coaching community, but just beyond whoever's listening to this. As you think about ICF Tennessee, what role has the chapter played in your journey as a coach?
Yeah. ICFTN gave me my coaching bestie. So
Oh.
I have just met the most incredible people through being a part of the community. And in my sort of initial connection in the onboarding and the, welcome membership meeting, I met another coach that just very quickly became a resource and became a friend and now is absolutely my coaching bestie. And we message and we FaceTime and we have Zoom meetings constantly
Mm.
to share what are you wrestling with and what are you thinking about and what's working in your business and what are you changing in your business and what are you reading and what are you listening to. And it just has given me such a robust set of
Mm.
connections and resources to be better at all the things that I'm trying to do and also to peel back the layers and go, okay, but what's not working and how are you troubleshooting that? And having that kind of coaching bestie in your pocket, that's just been the community has been the biggest part.
Mm. It's so easy for coaches to isolate and do it your own. So I just cannot echo your message enough of find your people. Don't do it alone. Share ideas, collaborate. because there's so much we can learn from other people and so much we can offer other people
Yeah.
from our
Yeah.
experiences too.
Well, and I'll add one more piece to it. When I was going for the MCC and trying to figure out all of the training units that I needed, I was always looking for a program to be my continuing ed units. What's that full, complete program in a box? And what I've discovered the last couple of years, plugging in and just consistently coming to the trainings that the chapter is offering monthly, I get these little but consistent nuggets of, oh, that's a really great idea. Oh, that's a concept I hadn't thought of. Oh, that's an interesting frame on that. Oh, that's a really great takeaway. And it's the slow but consistent drip of training through the official offered, CE unit sessions. That's been really helpful to me, and having that just consistent input of other coaches, other ideas, other things we're doing. There's, of course, always a place for the full, complete program when you're going
Yeah.
through and getting those larger numbers of hours. But that consistent drip of content has just been really helpful to me too.
Because you can learn about the same things, different angles, different people, different experiences, and that's the beauty of coaching. There's always something new
Well, and
to
it's in
learn.
bite size too. When you're
Yeah.
just getting the 75 minutes at a time, it's a bite size, which is the size that fits in the busyness of life. I
Yeah.
think so much of training, we take it all in and then we go right back into our busy schedule and the things we need to do. And we don't get to soak it all up necessarily. But getting that bite size, okay, I can immediately apply that. I can immediately run with it. And it's enough to keep me going with everything else that I'm doing.
Yeah. Our director of events has been, especially this year, it's been so exciting. I'm like, I want to go to every one of these. So lots of cool events and the co-hosted events. I don't know if you've seen those, but where we're partnering with other chapters, it's expanding those opportunities. Yeah, there's so
Yeah,
much to
those have
learn.
been really helpful to me to really dig in as a strategy, that strategy of consistent inputs and training versus I'm only going to wait out and then I'm going to do this intensive, 2 months and it's every week and it's 2 hours and
Yeah.
it's just a lot. But using that strategy of the consistent input from the chapter, from the co hosted events, I've gotten a significant amount of value from that.
Yeah. Well, I'm inspired. Coaching, find your coaching bestie, go to events, get bite-sized, applicable learnings.
Yep.
What else would you like to share with the audience as we wrap up?
I think the biggest takeaway that I've gotten on my coach training and coach journey, I started in coaching in 2008. And when I started, I was working for this coach training company. And I had this kind of behind the scenes beautiful experience where my office was. I could hear the owner coach. He'd have headphones on, so I would get this master class of I could only hear his side of the conversation. And for
Wow.
about 18 months, all day, every day, I just got to listen to him coach while I was doing my work. And that
Mm,
gave me an amazing foundation, but it also meant I learned his voice. I learned
mm,
what he sounded like as a coach. And the biggest takeaway for me in my growth since then is to find me, make it sound like me.
yeah,
And that's when I can be the most effective, because just because he would close off with a certain, set of closing questions every time, he knew what he was getting at with those. They fit his personality, they fit the way he would talk. And when I would try to mimic or mirror that, it always made me think, oh man, I don't really know why I'm asking this. I don't really know what's underneath this because it's not my question. And when I went through the process and continually go through the process of finding, how would I say this? What am I trying to get at here? And how can I make this the most Rebecca version?
mm,
That's when the coaching works, because I'm bringing my frame, my lens, my experience, my personality into the conversation. And I'll give you a real quick metaphor that I like to use when I do coach training. I think a great coaching practice, a great coach, it is like pizza. It is literally like a pizza restaurant. And what I mean by that is pizza is universally recognizable. You can go anywhere in the world and see pizza on a menu and know roughly what you're going to get. But in every context, in every culture, in every restaurant that you're in, it's going to have its own unique spin. And so, how do you find what is the universally recognizable coaching, but what's my secret sauce? How do I make
Mm.
this unique to me and the flavors that I want to bring? Because we all have our own favorite pizza places, and it's a topic we're often quite passionate about. For me, it's always about the sauce. I love the sauce at this place. Their secret sauce fits what I'm after. And I think that's the best way that we find the people that we can help is when we have mastered what's our secret sauce in this very universally recognizable thing we call coaching. So finding your own voice, finding how you can be the most you within the context of coaching. That's the nugget I'd love to leave.
Well, a beautiful nugget, and I could not agree more. Rebecca, thank you so much for this conversation. I wish we could keep going for another
Yeah,
hour,
you're
but
welcome. Thank you.
um, such a pleasure and so inspiring. Thank you for everything you bring to our chapter and to the larger coaching community. And yeah, I'm gonna hold on to your nuggets personally as well.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be a resource to the chapter anytime I can.
Wonderful. Well, I'll make sure to that people know how to get in touch with you. And uh, yeah, we'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.